Welcome back. It is No Remorse Night, Wednesday night, 8:30 Central every week. We come on here, we look like a bunch of jackasses, and we spout a bunch of information in your faces, and you guys just keep coming back. So we appreciate that. We've got a little bit of a legend in the house tonight. He's been around this industry for, God, about as long as anybody. And he's got some things to say. I don't think there's ever a time where you can say Chris won't have some things to say. So we're excited to get him out here, but we're going to go through our normal run-of-the-mill show here and get things started. But we're going to start with letting you know that you need to pay attention tonight. You're going to get that Forge coin, $10 every week. We get put in somebody's pocket, hat, shirt, put it toward a snake when we actually start making really nice snakes. We are making a couple here and there, but we're working our way up. So bank it up, save it, use it on whatever you want. But just answer Jamie's question at the end of the show. We've got some other announcements for the week as well. We have a really good schedule coming up. Jamie is in charge of all of that. She's getting people booked in. So the next month we're getting guest after guest. This is gonna improve fast, guys. So appreciate you hanging out with us. What do you guys got? Jason, Jamie, you got anything for news from the week? Any kind of recap? Just
No.
an eyebrow scratch or a...
Yeah, not a lot. No more rain, please.
Yeah, no more rain. We had a typhoon here.
Well, the weather is definitely changing. We're looking at fall quicker than I wanted to look at fall. There's a ton of stuff to get done outside yet, and that's not going to be fun to approach that. But anyway, we're not going to put things off too long. We're not going to drown ourselves in odd news, but we're going to welcome people in, tell everybody thank you again for coming out. Sammy, appreciate you. You're here every week. Couldn't appreciate you more. We got Stan, Sea of Serpents. Had an awesome time in Daytona with Stan. Actually got to meet him and Junior and hang out for the weekend, so can't find a nicer guy in the industry, honestly. We got the Sultan of Support, Kike, and he was able to come up and visit with his wife and kids and got to meet all of them. That was pretty awesome. It was a very nice surprise. He wasn't sure if he was going to make it. And Tom, this guy here, he's a character, man. He's been messaging on Insta lately. Grabbed a Morph shirt, and he's just wanting to do anything he can to support. So Tom's an awesome guy. Craig, he's going to be a guest coming up shortly, too. Want to know all about the audio, visual stuff that he's got to offer. That guy is a production god, honestly. Sound quality, everything is great. Bailey, can't thank you guys enough for the episode last week. If you didn't catch that one, it was a great episode.
It's
Bailey
so much fun.
Yeah, Bailey and Ashley really did a nice job on that. So appreciate you guys. Python Prince, not familiar with that one. Was Python Prince here last week too? Did I say the same thing last week? God, I got to do some goddamn research so I don't look like an idiot up here. These people come back, I need to be knowing who they are and thanking them. Shauna, that's the actual power behind the Fat Man Nation, I believe. I think she does all the production stuff behind the scenes and keeps Chris from rolling sideways off the screen, I think. A block behind the wheel or something. But we got James B., All City Serpents. He's here every week, too. Appreciate you, James. Thanks for coming out, man. Chris BNS Reptilia, he put up with me Monday night till way too damn late. I don't know what I was even doing. There was a lot of slurring going on, and we were talking cocoa chips. And
I had to elbow him when he came to bed.
Right. Like, get the hell out of here, man.
Shut up. I don't want to carry on your conversation anymore.
Right. We got Screaming Morphs, too. They're going to be on in 2 weeks, I believe. Is that right, Jamie? Am I
That's correct.
in the right date there?
Yep.
Nice
September 11th.
They've got some heat, too. Those guys are producing some really nice snakes. The last couple posts on Insta were nuts.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Not your run-of-the-mill ball python for sure. We got Vance. Vance just started up a show on Saturdays. He runs that at 12 o'clock Pacific time. So for us, it's 2 p.m. But yeah, he's got some odd stuff going on there. We're even throwing sports in the mix, some football talk and some other junk. And of course, we're going to talk snakes, but Thunderdome, tune in. Sit in there when. Start that collab, so we're going to back it off that one. We talked about what each other had and went, well, we can't help each other at all, so we're moving on. T Keys, good show tonight. Jared was a good guest. He's always a nice guy. Got to meet all you guys down there too, so appreciate you, T. There's Mom. This is part of what we tried to describe to Chris before the show, that a lot of these people aren't going to know who Chris is, so we're going to ask him a lot of that background stuff tonight. Appreciate you, Mom.
Brother.
And the fourth J, we got John, Jason, and Joe. And then we threw a Jamie in the mix too, so we got 4 J's floating around here. Thanks for coming out, Joe. Appreciate it.
I'm scrolling.
Scrolling. It's all right. And there's well, I always say this, but I'm going to say better half tonight, just to give Dad some props. Every week I beat him up for being the lesser half of the mom-dad scenario, but thanks for coming out, Dad. Appreciate it. Oh my goodness. And I didn't even think to cue this because he hasn't been in a little while, but this is Samuel DeHaven of the Northern Realms. I think he has his own goddamn intro music now.
That's awesome.
Right. Roll out the scroll. Eric's Morph Factory. Appreciate you, Eric. You're in here almost every week too, man. Support's awesome. JNS, that's the other James. We got James 1, 2, 3. I think we got like 3 or 4 different James bopping around, but James is always in here. Harry. Jason Opelt every week too. Appreciate you. 100%. And that is the better half of the Samuel DeHaven of the Northern Realms combination there. That's Emily. Appreciate you. Yes, mature audiences, maybe not so much. But Don D, you already know. Anytime he pops in here, that's how it's going to happen. The word to the wise, don't get a nickname or anything that relates to a tune, because we'll put it in play every week if we have to.
I love that
Mitzi Ann, got to give her one of these. She's always the heart lady in all the different chats. She's got hearts flying every which way. Chris would really like Mitzi too, I think, that oil wrestling background. Chris would be a big Mitzi fan.
He probably knows Mitzi.
Yeah, probably. Jose, appreciate you. Edge of Panic broadcasts every weekend too. He has a Sunday show going on. He's also part of the Hair Down Fridays a lot of weekends. He's on the panel. So catch Jose. He's got some nice stuff too. Eddie, Static Morphs. Eddie is hatching all kinds of fire. Some combos that haven't been made before. Really dark stuff. He's in Stranger. He's got HRA stuff going. Tons of clown combos. But Eddie's a really nice guy besides kind of local to us here. So appreciate you, Eddie. Jamie Rising Phoenix was a guest a couple of weeks ago. Another great show. Got to hang out with him too in Daytona. That guy is 100% more comical than I would have ever thought in person. Fantastic sense of humor, dude. I was dying at times. Will, just a scrolling. Appreciate you, Will.
Jamie and I have a double date coming up.
Oh, what? Yeah?
Yeah.
Double date? Uh-oh.
Oh, with the sisters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was so funny. He's like, I only need one.
Yeah, I got you. He was trying to import one from California or something.
Too good,
like. Yep. Ken, appreciate you. RWO show. I got a couple different things going on through the week. Tuesdays and Thursdays, both at 8:30 Central. I guess 9:30 their time. Brave, good to see you. You always pop in here too every week, it feels like. Appreciate you. Spicy Mike, good to see you. It's been a little bit. You were in here earlier, and you kind of pop in and out when you can. We appreciate it when you can, for sure. Good to see you, though, Mike. Hope things are going well.
I think we're running
right
to the
down
end
there
here. Yep.
Well, that is how it is sometimes.
Here we go.
It's a good crowd tonight, though.
Yeah.
We got Devin
That's
from
awesome.
Prophecy. That's the combo with Eddie at Static. Those two are kind of putting their collections together and working together toward some odd combinations and doing a good job of it. So Devin's always live doing something, usually Instagram lives, but nice guy for sure. Knows what he's talking about. So appreciate you, Devin. And that's Vinny over at Bone Daddy. He is the unofficial, but in our hearts, official sponsor who will stay on that background as long as he will let us keep him on that background. If he forces us to erase it at some point, we'll take it down. But appreciate you, Vinny, 100%.
All right, we all good.
We all good. Okay.
Yep.
Well, I think that is only going to mean one thing. Jamie's going to get to work on listening to the convo. She pops in the back, tries to run all the comments, pop them up for everybody. We're going to get Chris out here, and we're going to start into this. I don't even know what to call it. It's just going to be fun. We're going to just start into this conversation. So, Jamie, appreciate you.
See you
Anything
later.
that comes in for Chris, pop it up there. We'll try to jam it out there for him. But
Will do.
and I'm sure Chris is more than ready, too. He's tired of waiting back there. So let's get him out here. Mr.
What's
Chris
up,
Eaton.
guys? Yo, are you guys okay? Because it's been 10 whole minutes and you haven't talked about how Hilton Head Exotics fucked you.
All right.
Do me a favor and show me on Yoda where did Angelo touch you? Was it here? Was it around here? Was
No, I
it
think you're going to have to spin him around.
spin around,
flip him.
right in the ass,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh. You know what's great is that Angelo helped us out so much 10 years ago and was kind of like mentors to all of us at Eyeballs. We bought a bunch of snakes from him. He used to be our rat guy. We used to drive up to Connecticut to get his rats and everything. And so I was surprised to hear that he fucked you. But I haven't talked to him in a couple of years, so fucking maybe things have gone sideways. But, you know, I'm only hearing you guys' stories. A couple of things I just want to throw out there first. First, I thought Jamie would be here the whole time. She was the only one that I was looking at on the other screen, so what the fuck with that? And it is funny to hear a 50-year-old man use the word goddamn a lot, like much more than normal, and a 50-year-old man using the word fire. Oh, he's producing
Absolutely.
some fire. Oh my
Yeah.
god, dude, fucking.
I could clean it up and I could go with some really nice snakes.
Well,
But fire is just so much easier and shorter. I like it.
that's so fucking 17-year-old TikTok account, but it's okay. It's all right. You guys are all right. What happened with Angelo? I'm curious.
So, okay, so here is the whole scoop with Angelo. So we see the posting. It's listed as an Enchi DG cryptic het hypo. Photo looks good. It's not the cleanest DG we've ever seen, but it was a young photo. We're like, cool, it looks fine. He's got a ton of other DG stuff listed. He's got cryptic stuff listed. He's got hypo listed. Great reviews. We don't hassle people when they have that kind of a record. We don't get 14 more photos. We don't say, what does she look like today? How many grams is she? You know, we basically went with, unfortunately, a bad decision and just accepted what he had out there as the truth. So we ordered it up, showed up, opened the box, pulled her out of the bag, and it looked like a Bigfoot turd. I mean, it was brown. There was nothing DG about this girl, even remotely. So instantly I message him, and this is within 2 to 5 minutes of getting this box.
Right.
So he sent us the tracking number, did not say a word since. That's the last thing we heard from him was a tracking number. So I shot him over a message. I said, hey, Angelo, this thing showed up here. This is not a DG. We can't use a het DG. We can't use a non-DG at all. We just have no use for it. We'll ship her back. You know, what's the address? We'll pay the shipping back, blah, blah, blah. Not a word. Not a word. And nothing. Not a peep.
Not a word after that period.
No,
Never
there
again.
wasn't one word in this month since. Refused to communicate, wouldn't do anything. So she was in shed about a week after we got her. took the shed, sent it off to Charlie, not DG, as we already knew, was a het DG, not even het hypo, was cryptic and Enchi. Basically, it was an Enchi cryptic. So if this thing is het hypo, this comes from a hypo parent on one side. You can't just say het hypo randomly, right? It's got to come from somewhere. So it's not even het hypo. So, I mean, it was just completely misadvertised. So to me, any communication, I can understand a listing mistake. I can understand a misidentification. What I can't understand is complete radio silence from the moment somebody gets the snake. And this wasn't, to us, wasn't a cheap snake. It was $1,000.
Right.
So
Well,
$1,000 if it is what he says, about $150 what it is. You
Right.
know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm surprised he's still in it. This was recent, right? Because I know about 5 years ago he was talking about getting out. But honestly, that's about the last time I talked to him. So
I think
Yeah.
that's how you get out and make a lot of money.
yeah, well,
Right? Little
well,
retirement.
yeah. I mean, you have a bunch of people that are doing that, right? I mean, there's about 3 of them every week getting out. So that's the best part of the hobby to me. You know,
Yeah.
I love people taking out their retirement, taking out like 80 grand. And then a year later, they're like, we'll sell this as a whole collection only for 40 grand. And meanwhile, they never sold a snake over $500 in the history of their lives. And they think they're going to get 40 grand for their dumb collection. But I love that. I love seeing people lose their houses when they put money into this shit. It's a fun little thing.
But yeah, so that's the long and short of it. Like I say, we're adults. We understand things happen. Stuff goes wrong. Like I say, he could have mislabeled this in his records. Who knows if he even handled this?
You want me to call him and smack him around a little bit?
No. We were hoping he showed up in Daytona so we could do it ourselves, but he didn't
Yeah,
go down
you
there.
guys don't look like 2 ass kickers. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know. I'd feel pretty
it's
safe
deceptive.
if you guys told me you were going to smack me around. All right. I'd be like, yeah, I know. All right.
Now, and that's the thing too, is that's super deceptive, and we are extremely nice guys. We're understanding. We do go out of our way to be correct in a situation, or at least as upfront as we can be. So we kind of have the same expectation if somebody has that kind of record and review on Morph Market. But that's
Right.
the other side of it that was a little disappointing. They did 0 from the Morph Market side with a completely errant listing. I mean, this thing, he could have sent us a chameleon. It
Right.
wouldn't have been any further off from what he had
That
advertised.
would have been better. That would have been a better story.
Right. Right.
It would have been a plus. Yeah, it would have been an upgrade. But
Well,
anyway.
I'm sorry. He was never like that with us. But again, this was 10 years ago, so a different Angelo,
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And that happens. I mean, situations change, and who knows? Like I say, maybe he's not even running the show down there. Maybe it's a family member. Maybe somebody else stepped in. Who knows?
Right.
But, yeah.
Yeah. No, I have no idea. I just thought the joke would hit. I didn't mean to go into that 10-minute diatribe about what a shitty guy he was. All right.
Yeah. Oh, that's okay. We got plenty of other shitty people to talk about tonight.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there's a ton.
Yeah.
Ton. Right.
So we'll fire it off, though, because there are a lot of people out here. We talked a little bit about it before the show, and several people, at least from our side, family members, friends, people that are either just starting into this, that really don't know your history, Chris. And honestly, Jason, Jamie, and I don't know your history that well. We get the little bits and pieces, and we get the overarching story, but a little bit of a personal, I don't know, description of what you would say your quick journey was through this, how long ago, and how did all this get going?
This is what I mean about you fucking new people not doing research, okay? Basically, I moved out to LA to be a musician in 2001. had a bunch of success doing that. But while I was doing that, I had a girlfriend that had a bunch of 12 and 15-foot berms. Got into reptiles that way. Um, Everything kind of moved on. We got dropped from the record label. I moved back to New York. We broke up, and like I saw a bumblebee ball python going for like fucking 30 grand, right? And I got two of my friends together, and I was like, why don't we do a couple of these snakes, and even if we put away 5 grand a year, it would be a cool hobby, right? And they were like, right. And I'm like, but we should do it slow. And they were like, right. And like fucking 4 months later, we had 200 ball pythons in the house. And basically they were keeping it all here because ball pythons are actually illegal in the 5 boroughs of New York. So I live in Westchester, so they're not illegal here. And we're keeping 200 snakes here in my bedroom. I was sleeping out here where this area is. And it became a business a lot quicker than we thought. And our first year with our company, we had 100 clutches, and 100 clutches is like a fucking lot of work, right? Like it's more work
too
than I
many.
expected. Because everybody was telling us, breed what you want. It's 60% are going to take. Yeah, 40% are guaranteed not to take. And every fucking snake we bred had eggs that year, like, and not slugs, not fucking dead eggs. Every snake had healthy clutches of minimum 6, and so we became a business quicker than we thought. We ended up getting a facility. We did eyeballs for 9 years, and then finally I just petered out. And I was like, but I started the podcast 8 years ago, and I was like, I still like talking and fucking, helping people out that want advice on the history of everything, and how to do things. So I just stuck around to do this, this fucking dick and fart joke show, and that's what I do now. And now I got 3 of them, so. It's it's fun. It's fun. It lets me bitch, and it lets me just kind of be a part of the community. I like the community, I like 20% of the community. 80% of you guys, and yeah, that's everybody in the room. Like 80% of you guys are assholes that'll fucking fold. That'll fold pretty soon, okay? But 20% of you are the reason that I keep coming back. It's like, the 20% are so good that they make you forget about the 80% of shitheads.
Yep. So it's just 80% lawn chairs out there, just ready to fold.
Well, yeah, but that's how it is, like in the world, right?
Yeah.
Like that's so you don't expect it, and but some of these people that are dropping their retirement fund into ball pythons in 2024, you talk to them for 3 minutes, and you're just like, yeah, I don't know if I necessarily would have did that if I was you, So yeah,
Right.
it's fun to stick around. It's fun to hang out, and it's fun to tell stories because we know all the big people because we either bought from them or hung out with them the whole time. So the first show that I ever did, I had Ralph Davis on, and Ralph Davis has never been on a show before or since then. And
Right.
For the 80% of people in the room that don't know who Ralph Davis is, he was pretty much the guy that started it all and kind of sold the dream really well of making money with ball pythons. Because he would show up to Daytona with just like a Corvette full of like models with big tits, and everybody's like, I want to be Ralph Davis. And that's, I went to his house, and it was like a 13,000 square foot house, right? And his basement was like, I don't know, like half a city block long. And he just had probably about 200 freedom breeders in there. And this was during his divorce, too. So it was so sad that this dude who made so much money was living in his giant 13,000 square foot mansion alone with just the fucking snakes, and
Just a shit ton of snakes.
yeah,
Yeah.
and that was during the days where if you paid 15 grand for a snake, the seller would tell you to put that 15 grand in a Sports Illustrated and put it in a FedEx and overnight that to him so they wouldn't have to report the fucking the income, you know. So
I've heard
what,
some wild stories about
dude, it
those
was it was
exchanges.
fucking terrifying, man. Because what's to stop the guy from being like, yeah, I didn't get it, and just
Right.
keeping you 15 grand. Um, so that's when like I really knew how the people who buy from Africa, like Barchek and Brock Wagner and all those other guys, how they felt sending 40 grand to Africa,
Right.
hoping that the snake would get there alive.
Yeah.
So
Right.
we experienced that on a smaller level.
So so you went from like nothing to everything in one season. You got 100 clutches on your hands. So we're
Yeah.
what 700 to 900 snakes now floating around.
Yeah,
What was
yeah,
your
almost 1,000. Yeah.
okay? So
Yeah.
what was your game plan, or how the heck did you have an exit route for that? Like, what'd you do with all of these?
Well, we,
goddamn
we
snakes?
just thought we're like, all right, we wasted this money if we don't sell these, right? So
Right.
we found roundabout ways to get wholesalers.
Mhm.
We were posting on King Snake and Fauna Classifieds every day, doing every show within a 5-hour radius, and we
Okay.
ended up selling out of snakes that first year.
Nice.
So, we made some money, and then we started, putting bigger, investments in, and we were one of the first 5 people in the country to import the stranger gene, and this was back when, we paid I think 22,000 for 2 of them, and we spent 18,000 on a pair of killer clowns, and it was just.
Just wild numbers when you
It was
look
just
back.
like
Yeah.
Wild West kind of shit, just like, yeah, we just sent somebody a ton of fucking money and they give us these little, slightly less brown fucking snakes. And yeah, we want to make more slightly less brown snakes. And still, 12 years later, it's still the same thing. That's all you people
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
You people added orange. That's all you did. You added fucking orange, like
Yeah.
fucking. I mean, even people come in more colors than these fucking bullpens. Like fucking. It's like you did orange, and you wouldn't even have done orange if it wasn't for Ozzy. Okay, so fucking.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just a sad state of affairs, really.
From the outside looking in, I mean, I agree 100%. It all sounds so silly and dumb, and it's maybe is silly and dumb. That's the whole point, but it's the way you put it out there that's so goddamn comical. And
Mhm.
Well,
there's
that's fine.
instantly
You got to appreciate like golfers will make fun of the dumb shit that they do in golf, and nobody's ever like, oh, you're bringing down the sport. That's all I hear is that you're fucking ruining it for the young people. Well, fuck you, young people. Then if you can't catch the funny in it, then I really don't give a shit. So
right, and that's the whole point of it. It's like that kind of brash humor. I think has its age limit. Like you gave
Yeah.
me a bit of a tough
oh
time
yeah,
for saying
oh yeah,
fire, but
oh
like that kind of humor doesn't go over with
yeah.
young
You,
people
you know
anymore.
who's the
Was
worst?
lost.
The worst people ever in the history of people are under 30 white women. Like they are the worst people because they get offended for people, and,
Yeah.
and they're the
Yes,
worst. They're fucking the worst. I hate them. All right.
right.
Yeah,
On someone's behalf, I am
yeah, yeah,
extremely
yeah.
offended.
They get mad.
Yeah.
They tried to cancel me like 2 years ago because I had the first Hot Chicks episode, and one of these fucking liberal women, I send out an email that says, listen, before the show, slap on a little makeup, right? Because this is called the Hot Chicks episode. It's not called the Hideous Chicks episode. We'll save that for audio only, right? And I got
Right.
messages like, who the fuck does he think he is telling women to smack? And they're all by big fat women under 30, that are like fucking just never getting laid in their life. They're very mad. They get mad at everything. Yeah, they're the worst. Under 30 white women, I hate them.
I hate
Yeah,
them.
I
And
hate
it's
'em.
just cut right to the, I hate them.
Yeah,
That's so
don't like them.
good, dude.
Don't like them at all.
There's got to be one or two. If you met the right ones, you'd say, okay, I can deal with this one.
Well, under 30 white women are like nice to look at, right? But that's all you're good for. Just shut the fuck up and look good, okay? And the women in this hobby, I fucking can't stand them because they're like, you got to talk to me with respect, and I'm like, listen, you should respect everybody, right? Just a normal thing, right? But if you're coming into this hobby demanding respect, fuck you. You think I'm gonna give you the same kind of respect as I give Corey Martin or as I give fucking Brittany Gobble? You have two normals and a bearded dragon. Go fuck yourself. So it's just yeah, I can't stand under 30 white women. Just horrible. All right, horrible.
All right. Well, we'll divert from that topic for just a moment.
Yeah,
If you don't mind.
whatever you want.
All right. This is awesome to be able to do this, by the way, because the humor's there. But I feel like I do have to sidetrack you because we'll get stuck on these under 30 white women. We'll be there a while.
Just don't sidetrack it into any dumber conversations, okay? If
Okay.
the conversation goes down, but I'll tell you. All right, I've been doing this for a while. Yeah.
Let me see if I can bring it down a little. So I've had a question since the first time I saw your show. Your intro, in my opinion, is probably one of the best I've seen. So did you make it? I mean, what's the story behind it? Where did the idea come from? Did you do it yourself? How long did it take?
The Subway intro?
Yeah.
No, I found a dude on Fiverr to
Did
do
you?
it. And, because even when I first started, like I was all audio for 5 or 6 years before I went to video. And when I came to video, I was like, I don't want to be like all these jack-offs that are doing it now with fucking cum stains on their couch that they're sitting on, and you see everything like in the camera. I'm like, in a world of Brian Cusco videos, why would people watch anything less than a Brian Cusco video, right? Where he edits everything beautifully, he takes care of everything beautifully. So I just thought immediately, you have to do something to make it look like a TV show. Like, even though it's going to be on YouTube, it should be like a TV show.
Yeah.
And that, yeah, I found a guy on Fiverr, paid him $200. What he did was, I would send him the logos, and he would put them all in After Effects. Then he would send me like 20 different 3-second clips. Sure. And I basically went in and in Premiere, I do video editing from my main day job. So I'm always like a graphics guy. So I put everything to music, put everything together, and that's how I did it.
Gotcha.
That's pretty much still how I do them now.
Okay. So he gave you like 20 options and just said, what style to do it in?
No, basically he had about 12 or 13 different Subway scenes. And I said, I want them all, and I want you to put these logos in these scenes. And
Gotcha.
So we put the logo up on the thing, and then he would just send me those 2-second clips, and then I would put it all together in Premiere.
Sure. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I was curious about the same. Your
Yeah,
production
and
now.
something that probably you didn't notice, Jason, is it's a Japanese Subway. It's not even a New York Subway.
Oh, no, I didn't notice that.
If you look at the background, everything's written in Chinese or Japanese or some kind of Asian language.
Crazy.
Huh.
So
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Wow. Awesome and not awesome. So the New York Subway, you move out of New York to LA. Are you there now, or are you back?
No. I'm back in New York. This is what a failed musician looks like. So, yeah.
So what was that transition? Was it the same time frame you decided to step out of ball pythons, or were you?
No. I kept about 30 different species in LA. Because with the band and with the business that we had, we were making money hand over foot. I went from making like, $2,500, $3,000 a month to making like $90,000 a month. So like, when you do that, it's everything becomes much easier because you're like, oh, there's a problem. Let's just throw some money at it, right?
Yeah.
And I'm not really good with money. Like I see stuff that I want to buy. Like I had the first American chopper production bike, and I had them ship it to L.A. and fucking I did all this stupid shit with it, and then but it was coming in, year after year, so we didn't care. Um, and when they say money can't buy happiness, that's bullshit. Because I was a lot happier in my 9,000 square foot McMansion than I am in my 1 bedroom condo in fucking New Rochelle. Okay,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
that's just the way it is. But it's I decided, we got dropped by the record label. I'd broken up with the girl I was with, and I just said I'm gonna go back to New York because I was missing my niece grow up, right? Like I had a niece that was 3, and I was like, man, I'm missing like her school plays. I'm missing her, growing up, and so I moved back to New York, and I quickly realized that shit sucks. Like that was the worst reason to move. Like you're sitting there like you used to be a rock star, right? And we had, we did big tours. We opened up for, guys from Bon Jovi, Aerosmith, Motley Crue, bands like that. And then you move back to fucking New York, and you're nobody again, and you're sitting in an auditorium, and you don't even know if your 5-year-old niece is on stage because they all look the same, right? So you're like, fuck it, and they got
From
you
a
in
distance, yeah.
these tiny seats, and I was like, yeah, it is miserable. And now my niece is 19 or whatever. When I used to go over there, she used to run down the stairs and hug me, and now I get a text from her upstairs. And she's like, yeah, I heard you downstairs. Maybe I'll stop down. If not, I'll talk to you during the week. So I'm like, fuck you. So yeah, it was a bad move. It was a bad move. Fucking, I came back to this shit weather when I had paradise all day long,
Right. So let us in on that side of the music side. How do we find your old band?
There's
Do you
old
have stuff that's... What's that?
Yeah. There's stuff that's on YouTube. Like this wasn't in the YouTube time, so there's not a lot on YouTube.
Right.
But if you type in Junkies and Thieves on YouTube or Chris Eaton on YouTube, a bunch of stuff will come up. But it wasn't YouTube time. It was MySpace time, believe it or not.
Oh yeah.
Wow. It was the height of MySpace time, 2005, 2007. Facebook was just in colleges at that time.
Right. That's when they were actually in competition with each other, or right before that, maybe.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah, I kind of refer to that as the Buffalo Bill times. That's MySpace always creeped me out, man.
Yeah,
that was
right.
creepy shit on there. Like it.
Yeah, but there were a lot of hot chicks on MySpace, and MySpace made like a lot of people's careers.
Yeah.
Like Dane Cook wouldn't have been, signed, if it wasn't for MySpace. It was they made a lot of, and there was just a lot of people becoming that started the whole internet famous shit, and that shit sucks. Okay, so.
Yeah. Jamie at Rising Phoenix.
Yeah, you know why Jamie needs an 8-track? Because he's 102 years old. All right, fucking he needs a fucking 8-track, right?
Yeah, we're all getting up there fast, man. That's a goddamn shocker.
Dude, isn't it the worst?
Yeah,
like fucking. I sit at the edge of my bed every morning now for 20 minutes, just guessing in my head, like what's gonna crack first when your one leg hits the floor. And sometimes it's normal. Like it's my knee or my ankle, but some days it's like my eyebrow or my shoulder or shit like that, and I'm just like, yo, this is the worst thing in the world. Fucking just,
100% agree. Yeah.
So yeah, that's a great actual just overall coverage of the thing. But when you decide you're coming back to New York, what made you want to stay in contact with all the reptile people? The fact that you're kind of removing yourself out of that, as far as a keeper and a breeder.
Well, I was a keeper, but I wasn't friends with guys like Justin Wilbanks back then because we had like 2 normal ball pythons, but we had like water monitors, we had savanna monitors, we had berms, we had retics, and this was all back in the importing days when these shits were mean as fuck, right? Like we had green tree pythons that would fucking purposely come out of the cage to bite you, You know, like we had a green
Right.
tree escape, and somehow or another it found its way into the bathroom fixture. And I was taking a piss one day, and the thing bit me on the back of the fucking head, and that's how we found it. That's so everybody with their captive bred green trees and fucking captive bred retics and bloods, you guys don't know how good you guys all had it.
Yeah, that sounds horrifying.
That's not a good experience there, but I could see that happening.
Yeah,
But
it's gonna be fun.
yeah, so that conversion after you decide to get out of this eyeballs, right?
Well,
You've left
eyeballs
that
was when
behind.
I came back to New York.
Oh, it
So
was on the
yeah,
trip back.
eyeballs was when
Oh,
I
okay.
came back to New York because I came back in 2008 or 2009, and we started up all eyeballs in 2009, ran it to about 2018.
Gotcha. Okay. So that's not that far removed. I was thinking more in the mid-teens, like 15, 16. You decided to just call it good.
Oh no, we still had eyeballs. The reason I stopped eyeballs, I had a fucking stroke at the shop, right? And I had
Okay.
a stroke at the second floor in the fucking incubation room.
Oh,
Right? And yeah, and I had to fucking I got to the stairs, and I'm like, the whole right side of my body doesn't work. How the fuck am I gonna get down the stairs, right? So
yeah.
I was contemplating just falling down, but then I used my head and I sat down and scooted down like a little baby down the
Yeah.
fucking
That's
stairs.
that's better than
But yeah,
falling for sure.
yeah. So that's and I was actually about ready to get out about that time too, because I tell all these guys who are doing breeding full time now, like there is a world of difference between opening up a tub and taking a picture of a snake because you want to, and opening up a tub and taking a picture of a snake because you have to. And there's such a big difference in that, and I honestly don't miss it at all, like even a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay. That was going to be
Oh,
my next question. Is there ever an inkling to kind of get re-involved? Or, I mean, do you even keep reptiles now at all?
Yeah, I got a fat ass little skink right over here, and I may get back into ball pythons, but if I get back into ball pythons, I'm only working with like paint, puzzle, red stripe, and maybe one or two other things. That's it. It's going to be a 5 snake collection, and it'll
Gotcha.
just be for fun, So it's
Right.
it's a pain in the ass, man. Like having 5 snakes is the worst because the skink eats fucking dog food, right? Like so I could just buy a month's worth of dog food and feed it dog food. The snakes, you got to fucking go buy rats every week. You got to do all
yeah.
this other shit. It's a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
Yeah, certainly can be. I mean, skink is getting to be popular too. We saw so many of those at the last couple expos,
Yeah, yeah.
and such a wild range on them. I didn't have
Yeah.
any idea that
Oh,
family
and
or species was so wide.
we don't even have the cool shit like they do in Australia, but we just can't get it. So,
Right,
Yeah.
right.
but I'm sure there'll be some kind of new Tom Crutchfield that gets them over here somehow or another, within the next 5 or 10 years. And yeah, for everybody that don't know who Tom Crutchfield is, Tom Crutchfield has been doing this shit since the '50s. Okay, so he's a good guy, and actually I'm going to see him in Canada next week because he's
Okay.
going to the Canadian Reptile Expo also.
Yeah. So, what is the scoop with that? I know you talked about it a little bit before the show, but what is the background behind this Canadian trip, and who all's going with you? What's involved with it?
Well, Redline was sponsoring the Redline road trip,
Uh-huh.
and basically I wanted to get in on that, but I was like, it's Shane and Steven from Leviathan and Small Town Exotics,
Yeah.
and
Yep.
they're taking a fucking Mustang up to Canada. And I'm like, yeah, I don't think a wheelchair is going to fit in your fucking Mustang, right?
Right.
So, so I called up Robin and I said, we're going to Canada too. Give us some money, right? Give us some money to go to Canada. And Robin
Right.
was like, didn't I just sponsor your dumb belt? And I was like, yeah, you did. And he's like, yeah, I got no money. But I think what you should do is me and Paul from Large Marge Morse are going to be the Red Line Road Trip B Squad. And basically, so we're going to just film a bunch of ghetto bullshit about how we had to go up there in a fucking Kia Sportage, all right? And we're making our own signs and everything, and we're taping it to the side of the car. And we're just gonna make like a joke out of it and go up there and be the B squad in case Shane and Steven shit the bed, you know. So it's gonna be fantastic. Plus, I get to see all my Canadian friends that I've known for years but haven't really met yet. So
might see Sam Squanch up there.
Yeah, Sammy's going. Sammy's a little fucked because what Sammy does is he parks in the handicap spots. And if you ever meet fucking Sammy, like he might be a little retarded, but he's not fully blown handicapped, right? And we went to a Bigfoot convention about 2 months ago, right? And me and Paul pull up to the handicap spots at the convention center, and they're all taken, right? And so we gotta park at like the ass end of the fucking parking lot, and I gotta wheel my fat ass through the fucking parking lot up the hill to the fucking thing, right? So we meet Sammy there, we have a good time. We're walking back to the cars in the parking lot, and Sammy's walking with us, and he's like, hey, see that? That's my car in the handicap spot. I fucking took the last spot today. And I was like, you motherfucker, right? And then he shows me
take that leg off and just
I didn't even have the leg. I was in the chair. And Sammy pulls out his handicap sticker, and it's like some piece of shit that his granddaughter drew. It's not even like a real handicap sticker, you know? And I'm just like, you motherfucker. He better not take any handicap spots in fucking Canada because I'm coming armed to the teeth with handicap stickers.
Dude, that's so fucking funny.
Yeah,
and I can 100% see it. But, seeing him come in Daytona and seeing him from across that parking lot, that motherfucker needed a handicap spot because his knees, nothing was working right on that guy coming.
Dude, he's a wreck.
Pavement.
He's a wreck. Sammy's a wreck. He survives off fucking pink shirts and the occasional nice drink. All right, that's all. But Sammy's Sammy's super fucking cool, and he's funny as fuck. He really is funny, and for the first hour it was a little bit off, but once that first hour passed and he was comfortable with us. We had a good time, man. Fucking so it was definitely, it's definitely a cool guy to hang out with. I would recommend Sammy, and Sammy's putting out some fire. Okay, he's putting out some.
I'm never gonna live that down,
dude. Fucking yeah. You see how stupid I sounded being a 50-year-old dude singing fire. That's how.
I don't think this part helped. I don't think that part helped me. I don't know.
No, Sammy's putting out some nice shit, man. And but Sammy's good friends with Eric Markstaller, who also puts out nice shit. And I've known Eric for years, So, Sammy's doing really well right now.
Yeah, he's gonna be just fine. I mean, he's got some nice snakes in his collection. He's pairing stuff up decently. So, and he's a nice enough guy.
He gave me a pink shirt. I was like, dude, I'm not going to wear it. Like, I'm totally, not going to wear this faggy little shirt. And he was just like, come on, tough guys look good in pink. And I'm like, the fuck they do, man. I'm never wearing this shirt. So, he still gave it to me, all right? I still got it in my fucking closet just hanging there. It's never going to be worn, right? So, so I wonder how many shirts he gave away where people are like, I'm not wearing that.
I don't know what that count is. I throw that goddamn thing on, but I'm just one of those guys that doesn't look like an ass kicker anyway. So you just wear the pink.
Right. I'm wearing mine next week.
Ah, Jesus.
So you get going on your podcasting, and that's a relatively new thing. Like, how many people were in this when you decided I'm going to do a show? I'm going to start this
Sean
up?
Bradley and I think Morelia Radio. And then there was this one other guy that I always forget his name. But there's about 3 or 4 of us. And I wouldn't have even did it if fucking Sean knew how to conduct himself. Because fucking every time Sean did an interview with people that I wanted to hear about, Sean would interrupt the fuck out of them and make it the Sean show all over again. So I was just like, the only way I'm going to hear from people like Will Banks and fucking Ozzy is if I fucking do this and let them talk, and that's why I did, I started the show. Because it was just out of necessity, because I wanted to hear what these people said, and Sean wouldn't give you the chance to listen to them.
Looks like you got a request, Chris.
Yeah, who's that?
On. Now
No.
for 1 second.
No, I'm not gonna do it. What the fuck? What do you think? I'm Bret Hart? You think? Fuck out of here! Can't do it.
I'm not putting that fucking thing on.
I'm not putting it on.
But,
I won't wear it. Fucking.
So you actually had watched some of this stuff and you just weren't happy with what you were seeing, and you're like,
Well,
I'm
no. I listened to it because there was no watching it at the time. You know, nobody.
Oh, there was zero video, live video at all.
Zero. Yeah, it was.
Okay.
It was just podcast. And that's another thing for these fucking podcast people like you people. It's not a podcast if it's not audio also. So
Right.
you know, you guys better fucking pull the audio off this thing and put it on Spotify and iTunes and all the other shit, because even though I get
Nobody wants that shit. Nobody wants that shit from
Dude,
us.
everybody
They
wants-
barely show up for this shit, Chris. They're
Dude,
gonna
I
listen
will,
to the
I
audio.
will tell you, I get between 1,100 and 2,000 YouTube views. Every episode, I get minimally 4,000 audio downloads.
Really?
And that's if people have never heard of them. You know,
Yeah.
so the audio download is the way to go too. Plus, if you could show those kind of numbers to sponsors, they see that you're actually putting something into it and you're getting results. You know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Gotcha. The audio is still the way to go. So because my audio numbers haven't dropped since I've started the YouTube thing. So that means that I have 1,200 to 2,000 extra views a show than I had with just audio.
Sure. Okay.
You know,
I had no idea those numbers were that strong. Like I'll listen
it's
to a
insane.
podcast, but like in a different format, much more like on topic than just our random talks. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like they'll have a specific set of things they're running through, and it's a 2-hour podcast about Bigfoot or UFOs or whatever the topic is. It's pretty tight and it doesn't vary a lot. But yeah, I didn't imagine that would do that. Well.
You should try audio because it's a lot of people. Because when are people watching and listening to your shit? They're watching it when they're going to a show, or listening to it when they're going to a show, or when they're cleaning up snake shit in their rooms. You know.
Yeah.
True. Okay.
It's a good point. I listen to podcasts quite a bit, probably 3-4 times a week. So.
Yeah. Well, when I get in the car, that's all I listen to is podcasts now.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, stupid on us. Jesus Christ. Jamie, Jason, where are you guys? Get us on this goddamn audio only.
Yeah, you guys look a lot smarter than you are. Yeah.
Right. First time I've heard that.
Yeah, that's a first for sure. So I saw Charlie pop in. You talked about sponsors. That is our one actual sponsor. We keep Vinny from Bone Daddy up there just because he sent us shirts and a cutting board, and he's just a damn nice guy. So we just throw him on there to shout him out. But we're going to run the Gray Rider ad real quick, and we'll be right back. I even changed the goddamn music in this with so many complaints. So
Yeah.
enjoy, fuckers.
Using that goddamn phrase again, huh? Fucking kill
Right?
it. Kill it, man.
Killing it. Yeah, that's fire, Tom. And you appreciate that upgrade, don't you? That shit was bad before, man. It was elevator music. It seemed good until I got the feedback, When I really thought it through, it wasn't good. It wasn't good at all. So apologies for all the weeks of that, Charlie. It's much better now.
Can I make a suggestion because it's Charlie? And
Sure.
I love Charlie to death. Make the whole fucking thing widescreen. Stop fucking going to those fucking phone size images where you could see the rest of the black screen. You know, make everything 1920 by 1080. You know, and
Yeah, it's those clips like off of his own ads, right? So I have to pull them in. But if I get those full screen, they're gonna get so twisty and warped. I could redo them, I guess, in my own format, right?
you tell me what you need and I'll get it for you. I'll do it in Photoshop for you and fucking take care of you.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I will do that. I'll reach out. And those are basically, we pull those right off his Instagram updates. So like his latest releases on new tests coming out.
Yeah.
Yep. I know what you're saying. It does look a little off. 100%.
No, it's not. No, look, you did a very good job, John. Okay, you did a very good job.
Now,
I'm just saying.
starts off with the Yoda, and now he's apologizing. Jesus Christ, we're creating a kinder, softer Chris.
No, I'm not apologizing. Yeah, I know. Ever since I lost a leg, I became a pussy. Right? It says, yeah, it's the worst. And I noticed it's really ever since I had the stroke that I started really becoming a pussy because I was like I was kind of like a tough guy before that, and then after the stroke, I'm fucking crying when a chick makes it through the course on American Ninja, and I'm like, she worked her whole life for that, you know. And I got to look at myself and be like, man, you're such a pussy. Like, what is the matter with you? And now that I got the leg chopped off, I'm full blown pussy all the time.
Yeah. That wouldn't happen if it was like an under 30 white chick, though. You wouldn't be crying for that shit.
No,
not a chance in hell.
Yeah, they're the worst people in the world, dude. Yeah, they're the worst people.
So you decided that you didn't like what you were hearing in the podcast world. You're going to start one up and get more of the content and actually hear from the people you wanted to hear from in the way you wanted to hear from them, right?
Yeah. Well, the thing is that when I first started, everybody was like, dude, you can't do a show only with your friends. And I was just like, well, what other kind of show would I fucking want to do? You know, like I want to have my friends in and have fun with my friends and, you know, these people that I only see 3-4 times a year, you know? So that's really where it kind of went. And I was always a big, like, stand-up comedian guy, Howard Stern guy. So I would just make the show more like that, you know? But like the first, like I would do video previews for the show and I would just be there smoking cigarettes like Morton Jr., you know, like fucking, just smoke like an idiot. And that was years ago. That was pre-stroke, Chris. All right.
Right.
Not after.
For Jamie at Rising Phoenix, he's really after you. I don't know how close you guys are, but boy, this one here, I don't know, Chris.
What's that? You sure they
might have a valid point?
Chop your balls off. Yeah, all right. Well, I'd say let me take a run at your mother, but your mother would be 250 years old, so fucking.
She's going on 350 now.
They're just as bad as the under 30 white women. Fucking Jamie, Jamie talks a lot of shit. That's okay. All right, that's all right. Yeah. Fucking Jamie could talk his shit. He probably got osteoporosis, right? That's what he's just trying to get back at me. That's all he's doing.
Yeah. Cripple Battle 24.
Yeah. Timmy and Jimmy fucking all over again, you know.
The Timmy, yep. So you get into this, then you switch over to video form, right? So you're not doing podcasts now, you're doing live shows with people.
Well, no, I would record it and edit it down and fucking do everything, and then I would just premiere the hour-and-a-half video. I did that for about 2 years because I was, you know, when I was with the band and we were doing like video shoots and live shoots and all that, I was fucking like in shape a little bit, right? And fucking didn't mind being on camera, and then fucking getting in front of the camera for the first time, you realize you're like, wow, you are a fat fuck. Like nobody's gonna watch you, right? And then it turned out that people like the fat angry guy from New York. And you know who convinced me to do it live was really MJ, because it was like he's like, you really should do live stuff because you're leaving a bunch of money on the table because you could be getting super chats, you could be getting all these other things, and I did one live and I didn't have to edit it and it was just done through StreamYard and I was like, this is incredible, right?
Yeah, right.
I started doing lives last year, so.
Okay, so that was the first lives you ever did. So all of the lame, all of that stuff that came through was all recorded.
All pre-recorded, yeah.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, and we used
And
to
see,
do it on
going
like
back
Skype.
now, yeah, going back and looking at it, I guess you'd have to pay more attention. So we'd turn it on, we'd watch, and we wouldn't sit, so you wouldn't see where editing happened. You know what I mean?
Right, right,
It
right,
felt like it was just going on. We're cleaning snakes, we're doing our thing,
right.
and gotcha.
And
Okay,
overall, it is much easier to edit audio than it is to edit video. You know, it's so much easier. So when I did my first editing of an actual show, I was like, this shit takes forever. You know, I was putting in like fucking 60 hours a month for 2 shows a month. You
Yeah.
know, just
right.
by editing it and dropping all the things into it. You know, all the commercials and all that. Like I used to do commercials for everybody, like you just did for Gray Rider,
Hmm.
and doing it live now. You just kind of talk about shit and just kind of roll through it and just put an image up on the screen. So it's relatively easy now. Um,
Yeah,
Especially with like the advent of StreamYard and Evo Mux and EV Mux and all that. So it's definitely easier now. But negatives come with that too, because
right.
negatives come with every moron that has $20 a month to pay for StreamYard is doing a reptile podcast now.
Yeah,
So
and honestly, our hesitation too, starting into this, is like, what can we bring in and what can we offer differently than isn't out there in 40 different forms, right?
yeah,
But
well,
it
because
kind of got
there's 35 shows a week.
Mm-hmm.
right.
Oh, and that's a little ridiculous.
Yeah.
It is,
A
and it's
lot.
hard. It is hard to do a show where you feel like it is a carbon copy or a cookie cutter scenario from the shows before, but at the same time, the industry is saturated as it is.
Yeah,
People need to know who you are. Like they need to at least be familiar with your logo, your name, who you are as a group, however you want to view it, to have any kind of a competitive comfort
yeah,
in a
but
snake that there's 1,000 to pick from of the same snake. You know what I mean?
but but really, a lot it backfires on a lot of people because a lot of people don't look as good as you guys do. A lot of people will just do it from their shitty couch. A lot of people won't have a green screen, so they'll fade into the background all night. A lot of people you just see the top of their head because they're walking around like it's no big fucking deal, and that's like the most irritating thing in the world. Um, so when you see people like that and you're like, man, like I know who that guy is, but I saw his living room and I ain't buying a snake from a dude that lives like that. Okay. So
Could be, yeah, could be the reverse effect. Exactly. Yep.
Yeah.
But I think that was the driving factor for us, at least. And I kind of wondered, being that you weren't in the breeding side of it, like your draw to it was purely the community, really, at its
no,
base.
no, no. My draw to it was making people laugh. And I
Oh,
happen to
okay.
have a pool of people that I could draw from. and
Gotcha.
and I'm
Okay.
like, because you really don't come to my shit to learn stuff, like fucking. You come to my shit to laugh a little bit, and if you have a crappy week, to make the week a little bit better. I always tell people it's not even a reptile podcast. It's a comedy podcast that reptile people choose to come on because it puts them in front of a lot of people.
Right. Right.
So
Gotcha.
yeah. So but I've branched out since then. I'm hoping to branch out more because I want to have musicians on and directors on, and
Wow. That'd be cool. Yeah.
I've basically played or substituted for every almost 80s mated band on MTV. So it's like I got a lot of musician friends that have like that were way more successful than I was, and they have a ton of stories to tell. And if you have a good story to tell, I want you on the show. You don't have to. It doesn't have to be a reptile show.
Yeah.
If
Right.
you just have a good story to tell, like I had on the original, the guy that founded Aerosmith with Steven Tyler. He's been a friend of mine for 25 years, and he would tell me, stories about him and Tyler growing up, and the fights they used to get into, and the drugs they used to do, and just shit that entertains people and keeps them interested.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So is this part of your storyteller series? I mean, you do a
Well,
storyteller
the
special, right?
storytellers, no, the storytellers was, I was like, what could I bring to my Patreon people that nobody else is bringing? And basically, I've just had people on who have been in the business, in the reptile business for 20, 30, 40, 50 years. And they would tell stories about, when the heyday was and all that.
Okay.
And
So,
that's it's been very well received. So I was happy that I did those. So we're
yeah.
definitely going to do a season 2, and I'm going to have a couple other old school guys on to just tell how wild it was, because the kids now, that they don't even know what wild is. Well, like they'll see a chick take off her top in a Motley Crue video, and they'll be like, "I can't believe she did that." Like, dude, that's all we saw. All right, so it's like the young people who you used to want to be in front of because they were hip and cool. They're now like fucking a bunch of woke, fucking offended assholes that need safe spaces, and we're not that kind of show. Like I just don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Plus, at 50, like, do you really give a shit like you did when you were 35, 25?
Not even a
Yeah, I
portion.
could give it, I told this joke on the show, like, fucking, when they were trying to cancel me. I'm like, you're not going to cancel me because I'll just come back and interview mechanics and call it Breaks in the Fat Man. I'm like, I'll interview a bunch of Mexican gardeners and call it Rakes in the Fat Man. And fucking, I'll do whatever I have to do. And
Yeah.
it's I'm just trying to show the fun part of it to people, because you still can laugh a little. And people say, why are you going outside the hobby? It's because I have other interests, and so do 99% of the hobby. They
Yeah.
have other interests
Right.
too. So it's like, why not go outside and bring in non-snake people? And then, I have enough snake people now where maybe you could convince some non-snake person into joining the hobby,
Yep.
Right.
because we forget how small, like, the niche is, right? Like, it's just like, you think that with all the drama that goes on in this hobby and everything, if I walked outside and knocked on my neighbor's door and said, who the fuck is Justin Kabilka, she'd be like, who the fuck are you talking about? Like,
Right. Yeah.
so that's where we just like to make it, more fun and bring in outside people.
Well, and it
Yeah.
and it makes 100% sense for your audience as well, because if you have the interest in the reptiles, you also have overlapping interests. The same type of personality is going to generate multiple interests that overlap. So if
Right.
you like rock musicians, so does half the hobby. If you
Right.
like, fast bikes, so does half the hobby. It's
Right.
just a natural progression. And we've talked about that multiple times. We do have people that are artists, that are, craftsmen, that are different people in different industries that would be interesting to have on. Um,
Right. Right.
and get away from reptiles every third show, and get something a little different for people to look at, because you can only ask, what color is your orange dream clown for how many months, you know
Well,
what I
dude,
mean?
and
Like,
they hear it from 35 other shows a week.
yeah,
So
exactly.
that's where the problem is. That's why we have a rule now with the 15 minutes of lane contestants. If they're going to come on 15 minutes, they can't be on another podcast 2 weeks before or 2 weeks after, because
Gotcha.
there was a run where they were just going on every show in a month. And if you're on 4 different shows in a month, it doesn't help me. It doesn't help the other shows that you're on, because everybody's asking you the same fucking questions, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there's just no point in being that accessible, And that's another thing. Like, when we used to have like Justin on or Ozzy on, it was like an event, right? Like, it was like everybody tuned. My first episode with Justin had like fucking 11,000 views, right? And fucking
Right.
now, Justin goes on every fucking rinky dink shit podcast in the world. It's kind of like when the internet took over magazines, right? Where you were able to read about your favorite band once a month, if that. And now, the internet comes on, and now you can see Gene Simmons taking a shit. And you're like, oh, all right, this takes the mystery away.
Right.
So I tell the big guys all the time. I'm like, yo, stop going on so many shows. Like it's just
Yeah, dial it back and do 2 a year. Make
right,
it
right,
make it an event. Yeah.
right, exactly. And I get why they do it, but I'm like, most of these people. Let's be honest. I mean, 80% of the people aren't going to be able to afford a Justin level snake anyway. So there's no upside for a guy like Justin, right? Like he's getting in front of a bunch of people that can't afford a snake from him anyway.
Yeah.
So there's just no point in even doing stuff like that. And I argue with Justin all the time about that. Like I'm the one guy that ever went down to Canova and didn't look at one snake because I was just like, I don't give a fuck, right?
Yeah.
He's like, yo, you want to see? And I'm like, no. He's like, you can go in there, whatever tub you want. And I'm like, no, I'm good.
Yep. I came down here to talk to you. I don't want to see all these snakes.
Well, I actually went down to interview his wife. So,
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I saw that one. You had talked about it right before. I think before you actually did the interview on your show, you were like, I never looked at a single ball python the whole time I was there.
Yeah, not at all, not at all. Just and Justin even said he's like, there's nothing worse than trying to force ball python talk on a person that has no interest in ball pythons.
Yeah.
Right. Justin goes, you make me feel bad when you come. I'm like, what are you gonna do, right?
Yeah,
it is what it is. Yeah, and we do run into that too. It's funny that you run into people that are involved at all in reptiles, and that conversation is just nonstop, endless. But 2 seconds of it outside of people that deal with reptiles, they are absolutely disinterested.
It's like, have you ever been to somebody's house who's been on a cruise and they want to show you pictures of the cruise and talk about the cruise? Yep. And you're just like, what the fuck? Like, I don't give a shit, And
they're like the same fucking boat for a week.
They had a fountain that was made of chocolate, right? Chocolate was coming out of the fountain, and you just want to put your mouth in it. And then there's a DJ on the wooka wooka doing it, and you're just like, shut the fuck up, I don't care, right? Like, it's just the worst. It's just the fucking worst. So that's how I feel about ball pythons right now. And I feel like I was just talking to Shane about this. Like, the people that have done it right up until this point, they're all putting out like amazing looking shit, right? Like guys like Wiz and fucking guys from the guy from Herp Collectors, Mike. They're putting out like amazing looking fucking things, and the newer people aren't even close to putting out that. They're like, oh, I got me a GHI leopard today, and you're like, shut the fuck up, nobody cares, right? So, like, basically. Yeah, you're gonna provide cobra food for some hungry cobra fucking down the road. But I think that what's gonna happen with the ball python market is that snakes are gonna top out at like $2,500, $3,000, and that's gonna be your average cost for a snake because everybody's putting out such nice looking shit right now. Yeah, and there's gonna be an inflection point where people are just gonna go like what you could buy for $1,000 now is light years ahead what you could buy for $1,000 like even a year ago, 2 years ago.
Oh
yeah, sure.
Like tenfold. Yeah, it's crazy. And I agree because there's so much of it, and you see it from names you've never heard of, where they've got the triple visual with 2 codoms in it, and you're going, what in the hell? Well, there isn't a lot of room to go different than that. What are you going to make the triple visual with 2 other codoms?
Right. Well, that's
how
what they're
different is that price going to be, right?
It's not going to be different at all. I get
Jesus Christ, and that motherfucker's funny right there. But I agree with you.
Bosa, but I heard he's like one of the nicest guys in the fucking hobby.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Truly is. I mean, he is fucking everywhere, and he's one of those guys that honestly shows up with an actual intent. It's not to promote himself at all. It's not like, hey, look at me, I'm here. He's literally there to help your channel be better, whatever the case,
Right. Yeah.
And that's pretty rare, but makes a hell of an effort at it. I know that because he's got to have like 6 goddamn phones going, a couple laptops. I don't know how he is all the places he is at once.
Well, that's what all these motherfuckers do now. they have like 5 different screens open to 5 different fucking podcasts that are going on because you're like, oh, I wonder how Ken from LMK is in 5 different shows at one fucking time. And that motherfucker's just got those tabs open. He's just fucking going through the tabs. And everybody says hello at the beginning and then just leaves. You know, like
Right.
fucking people do a lot of that. So yeah, it's a funny hobby. It's fun. It's full of fucking nut jobs.
It is really weird.
Yeah.
But I know for a fact that the main reason you're here is to hang out with Jamie, right? I mean,
Yeah,
really, you're
yeah,
not here for fucking
yeah.
Jason.
And you know what the fucked up part is? You
Oh,
actually
here we
said at
go.
some point where you're like, "Oh, all 3 of us are gonna be there the whole time," and I'm like, "All right, thank God, at least we got."
No.
I believe you did. I believe I could pull that fucking message up.
There's no way. There's no way. But you get your one-on-one time with Jamie. We're gonna do that. We're gonna put you in the hot seat. It ain't that hot, but Jamie's there, so it gets hotter all the time. So we're gonna put you in the hot seat with her because, real honestly, I got to get rid of some of this goddamn beer since we
I gotta go
started.
get my pink shirt.
Yeah, I was gonna say you guys are both fucking 50. I'm surprised you weren't up 3 times the pee rate.
Right. Exactly right. So we're gonna do that, Chris. If that's cool with you.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
She's got the hot seat questions for you, and these were pretty good. I read them beforehand, and I'm like, yeah, these will work. These are good, man. Here you go. Good luck, Chris.
All right.
Good luck, Jamie.
Stay cool.
Better luck to Jamie. See you guys in a few.
I think I'm in the hot seat. I'm sweating already.
Yeah, you might be. You might be. There might be some fucking sex questions going on right now. But go ahead.
No.
I'll let you start
I
off.
keep it clean.
No, that's no fun. All right.
You ever been set on fire before?
No, until now with this.
Till right
Hey,
now.
little- yeah. Okay.
Ready?
I mean, that's cute how you guys did the hot seat with the flames. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
adorable. Yeah. Okay.
Ready, set,
Yeah.
hot seat. Okay. Comedy club or live concert?
Now comedy club.
Okay. Acoustic guitar or electric guitar?
Did you just say acoustic?
Acoustic.
Oh, I was gonna say you're adorable.
I might
Yeah,
have.
acoustic right now. Yeah.
Harry and the Hendersons or Sasquatch Sunset?
Dude, Sasquatch Sunset is the worst movie ever made. Did
I
you
haven't
see
seen it. No, I haven't.
All it is Bigfoot shitting on things. That's all it is, and having sex. Yeah, that's all it is. It's the
I
worst movie ever. Yeah.
So we're going Harry and the
Harry
Hendersons.
and the Hendersons. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. Game shows or reality TV?
Reality TV.
Would you rather change the past or control the future?
Control the future.
Would you rather owe someone money or a favor?
The favor.
Would you rather be able to control water or fire?
These are what are these questions off those podcast question cards?
I don't know. I just
Fire.
find them. Would you rather give up all social media or all streaming services?
Yeah, all social media. No question asked. Yeah.
Would you rather encounter Bigfoot or see a UFO?
Bigfoot.
Would you rather win $1 million or earn $1 million?
Earn $1 million. Yeah.
Would you rather be the funniest or the smartest person in the room?
The funniest.
I think you would get that award. Would you rather teleport or fly?
Fly.
Successful or kind?
Successful all the way. Yeah.
Would you rather never age and live forever or live a Benjamin Button life and age in reverse?
Yeah, that's. I'd live forever. Yeah.
Have you seen that movie?
No, but I would imagine it's probably pretty hard to try to get your dick sucked by a girl when you're fucking when you're 3, when you're fucking
It's-
50 and you look like you're 3. All right.
You should watch it. It's pretty funny. Tiny house or mansion?
Mansion.
If you could hang out with any cartoon character, who would you pick?
Wino from the Thundercats.
Yep. I like that one. What is your go-to restaurant?
Uh, uh, Patsy's Pizzeria.
Okay. Like the Italian foods?
Yeah, Italians. Yeah.
Okay. Best words of encouragement to a new breeder coming into the game.
You fucking suck. Yeah, you fucking suck. Yeah. Because
Don't make brown snakes.
yeah, either that'll make them try to not suck, or they'll just go. So
What 3 words would you use to describe yourself?
uh, yeah, fat, funny, and nice.
And what would you ultimately like to be known for?
Making people laugh, man. That's what it's all about.
Succeeded. It's been a pleasure setting you on fire.
That's pretty hot. All right.
It was fun. Thank you to everyone who tuned in. And as always, don't forget to like, follow, share, and subscribe.
Oh, you had to throw that in.
Yes.
That is it. God, she went super easy on you, man. Like, honestly.
Yeah. I was expecting like pussy or ass, and I was like, oh, I don't know.
I gotta see them
No,
both.
I like both. Big tits or small tits. I'd be like one of each,
Right? Give me a mix. So that Sasquatch movie was that bad, huh?
Dude, it was the worst movie that I've ever seen in my life. Yeah, it was like they didn't even do any research on it. And it was normal size fucking big feet. It was just like my friend Terry. It was like that. He was a Bigfoot. 5'11", fucking looked like a fucking caveman. Yeah, it was so bad. It was so fucking stupid. And,
5'11" Bigfoot.
and they're killing the Bigfoot in dumb ways. Like one Bigfoot died. Not that I'm trying to spoil it, but one Bigfoot died because he tried to fuck a mountain lion. All right, so the mountain lion just killed the shit out of him. Right? Yeah, another Bigfoot drowned in like fucking a foot and a half of water. Okay. Yeah, it was so bad. Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Okay, so what were your expectations for this fucking film going in? I mean, that's my whole expectation when I
Dude,
saw the previews.
I'm a big like Bigfoot documentary fan from like Small Town Monsters where they take it seriously. I mean,
Yeah.
this movie started with like 2 big feet fucking, right, and 2 other big feet, the grandfather and the son, watching them fuck, right. And the grandfather was jerking off, right? And I was like, how could they put this movie out in the regular theaters, right? And then the grandfather Bigfoot in a little fucking they make like little huts every night. There was a hole in the log, and the grandfather Bigfoot tried to fuck the hole in the log, and he knocked down their whole shelter, right? So that's when they threw him out, and he tried to fuck the mountain lion, and it killed him. But yeah, it was a piece of shit movie, you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely not seeing this.
It was,
This is
and I spent $6 to rent that shit. I was like, I'm never gonna get that $6 back. Like, it's
Okay.
And you know who was in it? The guy that played the Facebook guy. The guy that played
Oh.
Lex Luthor in the new DCU.
yeah, I can't think of his name. I know who you mean though.
Yeah, he was the fucking 5'11" Bigfoot.
Jesus
Yeah,
Christ.
and not a word in the entire movie. It was just grunting. You had to guess what they said. You know.
So on the flip side of that, being obviously you like movies and production, what's one of the better ones you've seen in the last couple years? Like something you would say is actually a good movie done in the last couple years, say.
It would be like a documentary style done, a documentary movie from like Small Town Monsters or, some kind of, I'm like a cryptid nut, so they do documentaries on like the Mothman, on the Rake, on Chupacabra, Bigfoot, and they kind of they cracked the code because they don't make the documentary about finding and filming Bigfoot. They just fucking talk to these people that believe that they've seen it, you know.
Sure.
And that's what's the interesting story. Like what goes through these people's heads that they're willing to spend, 50 weeks out of the year in the fucking forest, hoping to just run across a Bigfoot,
Yeah.
So
Right.
it's definitely those are the type of movies that I kind of look for. But alien movies, if you ever saw Fire in the Sky, like
Oh, yeah.
the
Fantastic.
last 15 minutes of that was like fucking terrifying, and they
Yeah.
did that really well,
Yeah.
It was a great movie. Yeah. Super underrated, actually.
Yeah, yeah, that's James Gardner in that shit, right?
Yeah.
So
Yep.
yeah,
Yeah. Good movie. Okay. And just to get it like again a better feel for like what your tastes would be in a good movie versus this obvious garbage Bigfoot shit.
well, I'm like a nerd. I'm like a geek. I'm a fucking,
Oh
I
yeah.
like all the Marvel movies, all the Star Wars movies, all the fucking shows and TV shows.
Yeah.
I'm kind of that dude. Like I went and saw Avengers Endgame like fucking 19 times in the theater. All right, so
Right.
it was,
Great movie too.
I'm into movies like that. But I'm also into like cool dramedies. Like there was a Michael Keaton movie just recently with called Knox Goes Away, and it was probably one of the better movies that I've seen about career criminal getting Alzheimer's, and it's just a fucked up movie, and
Hmm.
it had,
Okay.
what's the name in it? Al Pacino was also in it, so
Oh,
it's definitely I like movies like Goodfellas, Casino, even that Irishman movie Scorsese just did for Netflix that cost something like $600 million to make. Um, and
I'm not familiar with that one. What was that called?
yeah, it's like a 3-hour movie. It's called The Irishman on Netflix. It was
Oh, The
based off a
Irishman.
book
Okay.
called I Paint Houses, and just about an Irish dude that just murders people for the mobs. So
Gotcha. Yeah. And a curiosity's sake there. So the Bigfoot thing, you had I think you said it was a Bronx Down Under, one of those episodes with Brian. You guys got onto the Bigfoot topic, but
right.
was that planned or was
Yeah,
this
yeah. What we would do just for that show is we would just one guy would just throw out a topic every week, and we would just
okay?
talk about it. It legitimately, the plan was to have a person do research and have everybody else riff off that. But I don't know if you've ever seen Brian. Like he's not a funny guy, and Luke is not funny at all either. And my back would hurt like every night after doing a podcast with them because I'd have to carry the podcast for fucking 2 hours, right?
yeah.
Carry
So,
the weight.
but still got a bunch of Bronx Down undershirts here uh, that I got to get rid of. So we use them when we paint. All right.
I
So,
thought it was a great show. I mean, aside from that intro song, it was a great show.
oh, dude, I wanted to be like the young kids and put fucking yeah. I'm a 50-year-old white guy using fucking rap as
Fire,
my fucking intro. Yeah.
right?
Uh,
So, so what is still active on Fat Man Nation? I know you've got the lamest with that
yeah,
group
the
of four
latest chat,
guys,
they're
Paul
doing
and all
really
that.
good.
Yep.
It's actually 3 guys now. One guy got a change in a work schedule, and
Oh,
they're doing
okay.
really well. Um, and it's just 3 guys that have been in the 15 minutes of lane competition. One guy that actually won it, and they just interview people that used to be on that were on previous 15 minutes or currently are in the running for this year.
Okay.
So yeah,
So that is the focus of that show is around the lame
yeah,
contest.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, because the contest really fucking like took on a life of its own after the first year and Shane won. So
Yep.
it was so it's a fun thing and yeah, and basically I don't know if you saw the Leviathan then Snakes movie, but they did a whole movie based around the contest, and that was like the best thing that they could have done because that shit was like an hour and a half commercial for my show, you
Yeah.
know. So
Well, and did such a good job of it that it benefited everyone. the
Dude.
audience themselves and you know, I mean, they did a really nice job on that.
Yeah, Leviathan has the best camera work of anybody in the reptile hobby on YouTube right now.
Yeah.
But
I
like
would agree.
they really pay attention to lighting and which lenses to use and everything else like that. So they do it. They like everything. Like I could partner up with Steven on something and know that he's one of the few guys that will put in as much work as I do. And if I ask Steven to do something, I know that it's going to come back perfect.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like he's one of the top guys in the hobby right now.
Absolutely. I mean, production value through the roof, and being from a marketing background, I don't think that was really his background or education or anything. I think he kind of picked that up to fulfill what he needed, right? I mean,
Right,
he didn't
right.
start that way. Um,
Well, he has a marketing background. I think he works for some kind of bank, um, and he does their advertising. So he knows what he's doing as far as advertising goes. He kind of does something similar that I do, except more boring. Like my job is more creative than he gets a chance to be. And I think that it shows when he does these snake videos, because the snake videos are like even if I disagree with every fucking thing that he's saying, I'll watch the video just to learn,
Yeah.
production. Like we're setting up for a new show here, and I had Steven give me all the cameras that he uses, all the lenses that he uses, all the lighting that he uses. And I think that when we actually set up the set, I'm going to have Steven come up and help me, because it's going to be a
Cool.
multi-camera show. So, Steven is top, one of the top guys, and Courtney. Courtney's just fucking Courtney. Like everybody loves Courtney, and they're just good people to be around.
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. And one of those that came in super fast and went right to a lead position, really.
Well, they
You know, and
came
showing people what
because
they
they
should
knew.
do, right?
Yeah, they bought a blue-eyed Lucy, and fucking they were like, yeah, we're never gonna make any money with this. So they went out and bought a Sunset, and fucking, I hate that Sunset fucking dream, or that Sunset snake, and it's but they're taking it and running with it, and they're one of the people who I can disagree with and just call them up and be like, yeah, just so you know, I didn't agree with that at all,
Right.
but they quickly elevated themselves to a position where they have to have that positiveness and everything in the hobby, because they depend on the newer people, coming in to kind of like get that dream, you know. Plus,
Absolutely.
plus
Yeah.
they're killing it on Patreon. I mean, they're
Right.
really they're just fuck. I wish I had their Patreon numbers.
Well, and for a good reason, because what they offer there is kind of outside of a lot of the Patreon groups, right? So they're getting a really strong marketing side view of things where a lot of places can't really offer that. They can tell you how to do your snake business right, how to do the money side of things and what you buy and what you pair, but the actual marketing and the social media aspect of it is pretty
Yeah.
unique to them,
Yeah.
you know.
Well, and
Um,
Steven actually doesn't just go on a fucking video camera and freeform it, freestyle it all. Steven's very
right.
measured on what he talks about. He makes sure that he's not going to sound like a fucking doofus on camera.
Yeah.
Right.
That's easy to do when you're a dude that looks like Captain America, and you just think that everybody's going to listen to every word that you say. Steven does a great job at it. So
Yeah.
Yeah, and we're not afraid of that at all, obviously. I mean, we'll come on here and look like dumbasses every
Yeah.
week.
oh
We're,
yeah,
we're
well,
back
you and
at
me
it.
both. Yeah, I mean, I'm like,
Yeah,
if I don't say something stupid, I feel bad at the end of the night. I'm like, oh yeah, I didn't say anything stupid tonight. So, but yeah, yes, I love what Steven and Courtney are doing.
absolutely. So is there anyone else in the industry currently that you kind of feel the same way about, that's taken the right steps and they're relatively new, but they're doing better than you would have expected?
Well, of course, I'm going to say Paul from Large Marge Morphs, um, because Paul is just one of those guys where he's not loud on social media, but the shit that he puts out is fucking great stuff. Uh, then and there's this guy from Caribbean. It's called Royal Caribbean Exotics, I think.
DJ.
Mm-hmm.
Yep,
DJ.
DJ.
Okay. He gives a shit what he looks like. Okay. And fucking his camera setup is perfect. You know, everything is. He's just a really good dude that actually puts some thought into it. I don't know what kind of snakes he has. I really don't pay attention to that kind of thing. But if you look good on camera, and I'm not saying you look good because you're a good-looking dude or you're in shape or anything like that. But if you look like, you know, you have a blurry background, you have it pretty much set up, focused on you, you put a little bit of time and effort into production. I follow those people more.
Gotcha.
You know, as far as people who I like in the hobby, it's more the guys that have been doing it longer and have, you know, $500,000 collections and above. The people that have these $30,000 collections and think they're going to put a dent into a hobby, I find that funny to fucking watch. You know.
It's definitely an uphill battle. And like we just got done talking about 20 minutes ago, is like that cap is coming down all the time because that breadth of price is going away as more people land these things in their collection.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of places to go. Can you make something different than someone else? Sure. But you're not going to vary that price line at some point.
Right. Well, it used to be the barrier to entry was very like you had to pay to play kind of thing.
Right.
Whereas, you know, for a couple of years, it got to be not that way. You know, where you could spend $1,000 on 3 snakes and you could still make $5,000 within 3 years or whatever on that. But the barrier to entry has been leveled so much where I remember Ozzy told us, he's like, don't buy 4 $600 snakes. You know, buy one $2,500 snake, and you know that's going to pay off a lot more, because the price to feed a ball python is exactly the same, whether it's a $30 normal or whether it's a $10,000 Pompeii. You know, so I think that the barrier to entry has gotten so low now, where people are gonna, you know, they could come in with $10,000 and put out great looking snakes right now.
Yeah.
Where it wasn't that way 5-10 years ago, you know.
Oh God, 2 years ago.
Yeah.
I mean, 2 years ago you couldn't do that.
When we go, I mean, we were paying $2,000 for a lesser back in 2008. You know, like it was just yeah. So I always say we bought an albino ball python in 2002 for 5,000 or 6,000 with no intention of breeding it. You know, like we didn't even care. It was just a pretty animal, and we bought it to have. You know, but when I was in California, I wasn't focusing on breeding. I was focusing more on just keeping and having cool animals around. You know,
right.
And you know, everybody who gets into this ball python business, money is their motivation behind it, because if you can name me 5 people with just one ball python, you could save that it's for the love of the animal bullshit, because everybody who has one ball python buys 5 and then tries to make it pay for itself or try to make some kind of money on it. If it was for the love of the animal, you'd buy a normal and fucking would just appreciate it, you know.
Right.
So
yeah, I think there is something to be said too, and this is just my opinion, but I think there's something to be said for the personality type that wants to just breed and create things, regardless of whether that's profitable or not. It's like a personality trait that wants to collect these animals, create something different. I don't know, people talk about it all the time in different, you know, forms and fashions about a breeder mentality or a trait in a person, and I feel like that's kind of true, because I didn't have a lot of interest in the animals themselves and did not picture it as a income or a business decision at all, but I was super interested in pairing things that were different together for a different result.
right,
It was like that portion of it kind of was interesting to me. Whether that was profitable or not wasn't the huge concern, you know.
Right. Well, the thing is that one of my pet peeves is I hate when breeders call themselves artists. I'm like, bitch, you're not an artist. Like, I used to be a musician. I'm
Right.
an artist, okay? I
Right.
made something out of nothing. What you're doing
Right.
is you're putting in two animals that are gonna fuck anyway, okay? Regardless what you do to it, and they're gonna have eggs, and you're gonna hope that something comes out that looks nice. All right,
Right.
that's not being an artist, okay? So,
Yeah, and I would pull back from that side of it. I wouldn't say that at all, but the interest for me in seeing that combination was the interesting part. Do you know what I
right,
mean?
right,
Didn't feel like, oh, I created something amazing, or you know what I mean? But
right.
still,
Yeah,
the curiosity side of it is more.
right, right.
Yeah. Yep.
That's more of a better way to put it. Like
Right.
I'm not an artist. I'm curious as to see what would happen here. You know.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely. Yeah. Yep. Yep. So I do think that's a lot of it for some people, and I think that can get into, at least for us, a pretty good sized collection. You know, do we want it to pay for itself? Sure. Will it? Hopefully. I mean, we're still in the red, but not by a shit ton. You know what I
yeah.
mean? We're not like
Let me guess. It's a growing year. Yeah, yeah. That's what you think.
every year's a growing
Every
year.
year.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Every year is a growing year.
Yeah.
No, it's just it is what it is, man. And it's there's nothing wrong with coming into this wanting to make money. But
Mhm.
come into it being honest with the other people, like say I'm in this because I think that I can make a shit ton of money on it. You know, don't come in and say, "Oh, it's for the love of the fucking animal." Well, yeah, well, go to Petco and buy a spider then. All right, if it's for the love of the fucking animal.
Right.
Okay.
Yep. I gotcha.
No, Blake, I do not. I think that when when Justin doesn't know what the end result is going to look like, and an artist has in their head what the end result is going to look like. You know, so I think that that's really what it comes down to. So I'm not saying I don't have respect for people like Justin who do these amazing things. I'm just saying that I don't call that an art form. I call music an art form. I call painting an art form. I don't call fucking you know hatching out eggs and hoping they look great as an art form. Because we used to think, fucking clown puzzle, that's gonna look amazing, right? No, no, that thing looks like a piece of dog shit. Okay, and fucking that's really the bottom line. And these other younger people who throw fucking these shit names at you, and they're like, "Yo, wouldn't it be dope if I had a butter orange dream hypo pied confusion. Like you don't even know what that would fucking look like, you dickhead. How do I know that's gonna be dope? I don't think it's gonna be dope. I think it's gonna be fucking stupid. Yeah, I just don't get it. I just don't get it. So
Yo, dude, dope. All in the
dope,
same sentence.
dope. Like,
That's so
yo,
good.
isn't that shit gonna look dope? Shut the fuck up. You have no idea what's gonna look dope and what's not. All right. Uh,
That is so fucking good. So, I mean, you mentioned a couple people that you think are doing well, at least in your opinion, are doing the right thing, going the right direction with what the hobby should be. Do you have any like personal shout outs to people? Anybody you want to just say, hey, thanks for your involvement in this right now, or I hope this show works out better this direction? I know the
A
nation.
bunch of people. Like, I mean, Leviathan, Shauna for fucking showing up at every show I do, doing the back end stuff, so I don't have to be bothered doing it. Um,
Yep.
like I don't want to do a show, just fucking telling people how fucking awesome their dumb shit is, like you guys do. Like fucking, I just try and do it like fucking. I'm not gonna tell somebody their shit is
Ah,
dope when it's not dope. Okay.
that was like right in the fucking ribs, man. You gotta
Yeah.
you gotta go easy.
All the people that take part in the 15 minutes contest, Inked Lady Morphs, fucking Paul from fucking Large Marge, Jaw Dropping Morphs, Jared, and uh, um, fucking Jesus Christ, why am I drawing a blank on this fucking name?
I don't know.
Gerald and Crystal
Gerald,
up in
yeah.
Canada are fucking killing it. Like they're putting out shit that fucking just looks unbelievable. Like fucking. And if you ever saw Gerald, you're like, that dude's not gonna put out unbelievable shit. This dude is putting out unbelievable shit, and he's definitely a guy to fucking look out for. And it's funny because his first 15 minutes of Lame, I put him on live with Justin, and had Justin interview him, and that motherfucker fucked the bed so hard. He shit the bed so hard. He thought that a good way to fucking deal with his fucking nervousness would be to insult Justin, and
Oh
that was
no.
fucking great. Yeah, he
Ooh.
he was like, yeah, who the fuck uses clutch? Fucking nobody uses clutch. Husbandry Pro got the drop on you guys big time, And but
Oh, yeah.
he had the worst interview ever. But at the end of the year, he was putting out some of the best reels, and he became like really fluent in Instagram and putting out stories and doing everything. And that's really the whole point of 15 minutes, is to make you better at breeding, the social media part, the investment part. And Gerald is one of the guys that really does it well. Okay.
Yeah.
Again, all the normal people, I can't really think of names right now because I'll definitely leave names out. But Shane Kelly's like one of my ride or dies. Antoine Hood is still killing it.
Yeah.
I'm definitely happy with everybody who's won 15 minutes so far, and they've all put like a positive output on the community. So
Absolutely.
yeah,
And their participation in that, I mean, is showing out in their results. I mean, it's almost like it weeded itself out to the right people. So
yeah. Lenny
yeah.
from Demonic is so fucking funny. I mean,
Yeah.
this is yeah. I mean, Lenny is fucking great. Tito Vargas from Tradesman Exotics is fucking great. And these are all people that I really don't know what their snakes look like, but I do know that I have tremendous respect for the people and what they're doing.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah, that's an awesome side of it to hear too, is that those participants are actually people you're connecting with and having a
right?
positive result
Yeah,
from.
like
So
Inked Lady Morphs is fucking putting out good shit, and they're probably two of the funniest women that that I've met so far in the hobby. And look, Shauna just said visionary. Will Sanford in Texas is crushing it right now, and
yeah.
Conduit put $1 million into this fucking hobby. And
Wow.
Wow.
and it shows what fucking, I mean, Steve Conduit and his kids are putting out amazing shit, and they're all 15 minutes of lane contestants this year, and it's gonna be a fun year because um, we've had a complaint from like white trash people that the best new breeder of the year now is just a popularity contest, because they don't think to themselves, like the public vote only counts for 25%. The three judges have to judge your collection, your outlook on everything, whether you're going to be here in 5 years. So I gotta teach the white trash a lesson and kind of show them, what the whole contest is really about. And this year we got a big old fucking WWE style belt, so we're pretty happy with that too.
Oh, nice.
And
Nice.
the winner is going to get the belt for a year, and then they're going to hand it off to the next winner.
Pass it
At
along.
the end of
Nice.
next year, it's going to be like the walking stick over at Daytona.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Cool.
So this was out of Robin at Redline, right? The belt? Or...
Well, Robin helped. Robin and Canova.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because Canova sponsors the 15 minutes of lane contest.
Yep. I thought it was Robin on the belt for whatever reason.
Well,
But
Robin helped pay for the belt, so he has a panel on the belt for
gotcha.
Redline. Yeah, and
Nice.
Robin's one of the best people in the hobby too. Like
Dude,
Robin,
so good.
Robin gets the mic drop award. I mean, Robin came in and fucking just showed people how it's done, and he took over. And a lot of people fucking give him a hard time and say that he's only a swag company, but dude, he's so much more than that, man. I mean,
No,
Robin's
dude.
one of the best people, and he's one of the best storytellers that I've ever had or ever talked to. So, Yeah,
You mentioned that
Rob
too.
was awesome.
So is that going to carry over in the same format? Are you going to carry over with the storytellers and stay in the reptile side, or are you going to move that to some of these other contacts you talked about?
Well, it all depends on who I could schedule. All right.
Okay.
It tends to be easier with the reptile people because let's face it, they got a lot of downtime, right?
Yeah.
So it's probably definitely next season is going to be reptile people. Like I'm gonna,
Okay.
I'd like to have on Greg Graziani. I'd like to have on Brian Potter. I mean, who's gonna have better stories than Brian Potter,
Yeah.
who's
Right.
fucking been running, Tinley since 2002. I definitely am going to stick with the reptile thing. And my Patreon is 95% reptile people. So I want to keep those people, happy. That's my main goal with everything I do is the Patreon people who actually keep the lights on and keep the wheels running. I just want to do things to make them, laugh or make them, educate them on certain things and all that.
Yeah, keep the Patreon worth it, and honestly, yeah, that's the goal there. So, are you putting in another show in the nation for this outside interest, like your musicians, your artists, your other groups that you do
Well,
want to sit down with?
what I'm probably going to do is I'm going to have Snakes and a Fat Man run those other shows with like the
Okay.
artists and the musicians also because if I could get on and I've been talking to them for like 4 months. We just haven't been able to dial a date in yet. Gilby Clark from Guns N' Roses. If
Oh, sweet.
do you think that fucking the 15 minutes of Lame Guy is going to be happy with him? Or happier with some guy that just is a big shot inside the snake business only,
Right.
because the people that are listening to Gilby Clark are 20 times more than the reptile community even is,
Right.
so that's what I'm hoping to do. I also want to do a new show called based off. Do you guys remember Tough Crowd on Comedy Central?
Hmm.
Where it was Colin Quinn was hosting, and
Mhm.
he'd basically have a bunch of New York guys just talking about topics.
Yeah.
And I want to have just a bunch of New York fucking degenerate scumbags just talking about what's went on in the reptile business in the last 2 weeks with like no fear of retribution or fucking they don't give a fuck if somebody's going to say something back. So I want
Right.
to do a show like that. Um, what I'd hope to do in 5 years is make the whole channel an unscripted reality channel. So have
Okay.
unscripted reality shows that maybe one of them will have to do with reptiles, but the majority of them will just be comedic things where people could learn something, but they'll still laugh.
Okay. And that was kind of, and you already picked up on that, obviously, because not only are you funny, but you're pretty smart underneath all of that. You got to be smart to be funny, anyways. But
Well, yeah.
that's where I was headed with the question, right? Is like,
I don't
what's your
like letting
plan?
people know that, right? Because if you let people know you're smart, well, like their expectations immediately jump higher. Okay, and I want to be able to fucking make fun of Sean Bradley every now and then without fucking people saying, "Chris, you're too smart for this." No, no. There's certain days that I wake up and I could be too smart for it, but I'm gonna decide to be dumb about it today, and just
Yeah.
say whatever the fuck I feel like saying. So.
Yeah.
But as long as people know I'm not an idiot, I'm happy with just that. Because basically, I'm just a fucking one-legged dude that hosts a dick and fart joke fucking podcast, and it's basically like the strip mall of podcast, So that's all it really is, and I know that. So, but maybe there's a chance we could grow into a big furniture store in that strip mall,
Yeah.
and as long as we have parking, fucking we'll have the people come in. So
Well,
that's
you
kind
just
of
got to
what I.
keep Sammy out of there. He'll
Yeah,
steal
fuck
all them
Sammy.
fucking
Yeah, Sammy's an
spots.
asshole. Yeah, yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking, I'm telling you, if I'm gonna be fucking putting my one foot in his ass if fucking parking in fucking Canada. All right. So
Fucking Sammy, man. He cracks me up for whatever reason, dude. That guy is comical as shit.
yeah, he
Um,
definitely makes me laugh when he does his interviews. Fucking with that pink curtain behind him. Like, what the fuck is
right.
that, dude? Like fucking, like, dude, come on, you make money. Okay? How about a wall behind you? Just a wall would be fine. I'm pretty sure you got a wall in that basement, all right? Oh,
Fucking Sammy.
right.
Well, we're gonna wind down a little bit, but it's gonna be your second favorite part of the night because Jamie's coming back out again.
Yeah, baby.
And that's the only reason you came on this goddamn show
Yeah.
to begin with.
Yeah.
So we're gonna put her. Let me rearrange this shit first. Let me put you guys real snug and close.
As a matter of fact, I would like to offer Jamie a position on the Hot Girl Sunday episode whenever she
man.
wants. She has an open invite whenever she wants. And we don't got to talk about snakes, okay? Because that's so boring. Yeah. So,
Yep. you guys can talk about whatever you want.
I wonder how many times I bite my tongue and get speechless.
no, you'll be fine. Right? We had a porno star on there, and
I
she
can't
was
compete
fun.
with that.
No, she was fun to talk to. Yeah, it was so funny because I was watching some of her porn beforehand, right? And fucking, well, I had to do research, right? And fucking, right?
Yeah, you got to be knowledgeable.
Right? So she had a black guy banging the shit out of her, right? Or no, she had her husband banging the shit out of her, right?
Right.
And then out of nowhere, a black guy just comes in and starts fucking the husband in the ass while he's fucking his wife, right? So that was the first time I ever saw that combo in a three-way, right? Like normally, you know, it's kind of like on either side, dick's not touching, you know, like fucking. This was like right up the ass, and I was like, oh, these people are fun to hang out with, okay. And so that was fun, and it's yeah, but we have all sorts of people on. We have OnlyFans girls on a lot, but you just have to be reptile adjacent to be on the Sunday show. So I don't care if you had a bearded dragon when you were 11 years old. If you're hot now, you can come on the show. We'll talk about that bearded dragon a little bit, but no fatties and no uglies on that show.
I got you.
So yeah, if you're fat and hideous, you do not get invited on.
Well, I'm neither of those. I don't think. I don't see myself fat or hideous. So.
No, you're right. But no, I want to make up for that because we have had some bigger girls on the show. But fucking, there's some bigger girls who are hot as fuck. So it's all good, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
So no,
You didn't stop watching.
no. Well, here's the thing, brother. I had to finish, right? And I don't mean the clip.
Masturbator.
Yes, that's me, the masturbator. Yeah.
So somewhere in this fucking mess, and hopefully it's not about that last scene, there's a trivia question buried in here somewhere. Hopefully it's not what is the weirdest combo Chris has ever seen on film,
Right?
but it could be. So $10 in somebody's pocket. We're not rich. We're just throwing money out there for people to bank up. So there's
Jesus
people that
Christ,
like
dude, we
$50.
talked about that 10 seconds ago. What kind of question is that?
It could be right to the end, man. Any point of the whole show. Yeah, she's done that, like right at the end, just to piss people off because they left, you know.
Yeah.
Hang out if you want the $10.
You know who, that Mitzi Ann girl, I don't know her, but she's hot.
Okay.
She has an open invite to the Hot Girls Sunday show, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's cute. She's super
She
sweet.
is cute, yeah. And she's got a great personality, man. She's cool.
Yeah, and anybody who likes to laugh is invited. And anybody that's hot and likes to laugh is invited.
Those are two of my favorite
Mitzi
things.
Ann, fucking DM me on IG, and we'll get you on if you want to pimp your shit. So,
That's funny.
So what you got, Jamie? What do you got
Okay.
for us tonight? What's the question?
Trivia
$10
question.
for somebody. I know, $10 whole, but
Chris started his podcast how many years ago, and how many is he currently running?
ooh, that's a tough one, actually.
Yeah, I have a backup in case that one doesn't go well.
No, I mean, they got to get both, and I think I have the first one, but I think the second one I'm one off because one of them's disappearing, if I'm not wrong.
Well, I'm just going off what was said, so we'll see if anyone.
Okay. All right.
yo, fuck you, Ken. All right.
Fucking Ken.
It's right here. This is our winner, Chris. 8 years ago and 3 shows currently. That's what I wrote down.
Yep, he's right. Yeah.
Okay.
Nice job.
Congratulations.
Beautiful. Okay.
Yeah. Well, technically, I'm running 4, but I'm in 3.
Okay.
So,
well,
yeah,
you
so
said
Chris
you
would be
said
right.
3, so yeah.
Yeah.
We're
Oh.
doing 3.
Yeah.
No,
Go.
wait a minute now. Scroll
shit.
up. Scroll up.
Scroll up.
Yeah.
Oh shit! Did we miss one?
I don't
Well,
think so.
all city.
83. Yeah. I saw 83 and didn't register that.
Dang. Okay,
My
so
bad.
that was before Chris.
Damn. James
Oh,
paid
shit.
attention, man.
James, well
Yep.
done, man.
I think
Sorry,
we.
Chris.
I would just give him 10 to each.
That's what I was going to say.
Close
Okay,
If we
okay.
do both.
James and Chris.
Close enough.
Good deal.
I don't
Just in
know,
case-
James, man.
Just in case
Go ahead.
James didn't finish yet and was just starting with 83 years ago.
Yeah, but
Right.
plus,
Right?
you don't want to piss off B&S too, because he
No, he's
kind
awesome.
of came out like a little powerhouse too, man.
Yeah.
Fucking,
Oh, he's
Chris
been
is-
around for
Chris
a
is
Yeah,
long
we met
time.
Chris in Daytona. He's awesome.
yeah, he's
Yeah.
fucking great. If it wasn't for that bullshit cocoa fucking shit he's pushing, that would be fine. He would be perfect if it wasn't for that. I heard that fucking Chris was talking shit about me, so I made in some video. I fucking had his logo on one of those red line patches, and I was like, "Fuck this guy! I hear he talks shit about me, right?" And then fucking Chris DMs me. He's like, "Yo, I didn't talk shit about you, man." And I'm like, "That's what I heard, right?"
Yeah, I heard it, so I said it. Yeah. No, Chris is a good shit, man, and a great sense of humor. That motherfucker,
Look-
you could give him all the
look
shit
at-
in the world, and he's just gonna fucking laugh.
Look at Jamie's answer. Wise. What you gonna do about it, wise guy?
Yeah, well, please. Fuck, you ever look at Jamie? I've seen younger faces on Cash, all right? Fucking, right?
Yeah, he is a baby face.
No,
No?
baby face.
Baby
Nah, he
face.
looks.
Dude,
looks
he
like
looks
he crawled
like
out of-
fucking Mr. Roper, all right? Baby face.
Mr. Roper
Dude.
from Three's Company?
Yes, that's right. I'm going back
Come
to
and knock
early
on our
80s,
door.
all right? Fucking-
Yeah. So before it gets worse, we're gonna get the fuck out of here. Chris, we're gonna jam you backstage. You gonna hang out for just a minute or two?
Yeah,
while we
sure,
close it
man.
up?
Whatever you guys need.
Yeah, is that cool?
Yeah, absolutely, man. And thank you to everybody that stayed and watched. I appreciate you guys.
Absolutely,
Absolutely.
100%.
Does not
man.
go
It's
unnoticed.
comical.
Cocoa to go. Fuck you and your cocoa to go. You just put, you just put a fucking number and an adjective after the word cocoa. Fuck you. That's all you fucking do. Everybody use rep to chip, all right? Fuck that cocoa to go bullshit. And the chipper. Fuck them too. Fucking rep to chip, bitches. Original. Fucking rep the cunts. All right? That's what you guys are. You guys are rep the cunts. All right?
This has been the best fucking show. All right, but you're gone, Chris. Later, dude.
Bye.
Nope, he didn't go.
I'm
He
back.
did, but he didn't. There we go. Somebody jammed. Jamie brought him back. But
I did
we're gonna
not.
close out, guys. Thanks for coming out again. Fucking Chris, man. What a
Look,
goddamn hound.
Arvid just Googled Mr. Roper. That's awesome.
Right. It's a perfect description, man. Perfect description.
That's too good.
But can't thank Chris enough for agreeing to come on this shit show. Next week, Jesus Christ. Next week we have Josh from Jamie.
Oh, having a ball.
Yeah.
I'm
so-
still reading comments, sorry.
I know it's actually pretty comical the stuff coming in, but appreciate everybody that came out this week. So tune in next week. Josh having a ball. He's got a really nice collection of stuff. Got to meet him in Daytona. Super nice guy. We're gonna go chill with Chris for a little bit and talk bullshit a little bit more before we let him go tonight, and appreciate him 100%.
Yeah.
For a show as small as ours, our kind of numbers, for a guy like that to come on and spend his time is awesome. So much appreciated. Thank you everybody for tuning in and watching the circus. But get done with the rest of your week. Wednesday night is too late to be staying up out on the East Coast. You guys are sitting at what? God, going on 11 o'clock, 10:30ish, 11. I
It's
don't know.
10:30
Getting late
here.
out there. But yeah. Peace out, guys, and tune in next week. Appreciate you all. Also, tune in Saturday at noon over at Blue Zombie Morphs. We're going to be on there broadcasting live. It'll
Thunderdome.
be Thunderdome week 2. So appreciate it.
That'd
Peace,
be
guys.
fun.
Have a great week. Thanks.